Right, let's start with some actual calculations with the functions. Now, with the functions, some are easy, some are going to be more difficult. The point is try them. You can only get some marks if you try, you leave them blank, you get zipper. The other thing you get zipper for is typing in the answer. Not the correct answer, but going calculating the answer and typing in the value. All it is, it's going to hack people off. Don't do that. Right, let's look at the first one over here. Add a function in G27. Okay, well, I'm just using a different row here. To find the largest monthly expense in column B. Okay, so that's the column we're looking at. So what we're looking at over here is to say we're going to use the max function, and we're going to be basically looking at column B, which is all these things over here. Where did it go to? So that would give you the maximum expense for that particular month. Right. Okay, I'm going to just move my answers across so we can see them a little bit easier as well. Right, I'm going to delete each row at a time so that we can get them out the way. Obviously you wouldn't do that in the test. 46.2, add a function in to find the lowest monthly. Okay, well if we use, the one was max, this is obviously going to be min because we're looking for the smallest. So it equals min and equals min, damn, can't type, equals min, and now we're looking at the income. Always make sure that you get in the right column and the right range. And okay, so that's over there, and that's correct, that's the minimum. And okay, let's delete that. Was very easy. Then the ones that are quite related to max and min are large and small. Max and min get you the biggest and the smallest. Large and min get you the second largest or the third largest or the second smallest, whatever you want. Find the second highest. So now instead of large, we're going to actually use large because we want the second largest. So large, and we're looking again in the income column. So it's highlighting that range, comma, and it is the second, so it's going to be just a 2, and there we go. Okay, so that's our formula, equals large, the range, comma, 2. Right, this is just so easy. And let's go to the next one, the second highest monthly expense. What was that previous one? Second highest monthly income, second highest monthly expense. Well, that's a bit dorky. It's exactly the same question, just with a different range. Second highest monthly expense. Let's change this into lowest just for fun. Let's make this lowest just for fun. So pretend the highest is not there, and we'll make it lowest. Okay, let me not be lazy. Lowest. Low. Like the cows go low. Second lowest expense in column B. Right, there we would use small, except we'd spell it right, and we use, and it's for the expenses, so we're looking at this column, and it would be comma 2. So you've got min, max, and you've got large and small. Okay, max and min obviously just take a range, small takes a range, and the number, which is the size, the nth one you're looking for, so the third or the fourth or the fifth or whatever you're looking for. Right, next one, very common, comes up every exam, where they ask you to find some form of average. They want the average monthly expense. Well, that part's easy peasy, equals average, open up your round brackets, highlight your expenses, and there we go. Okay, so that's painless. Next part, use the round function. Okay, so you can't format it. You have to use the round function. Oh, okay. I'm going to go up here and show you how to do it very easily. What you do is straight in front of the equal sign as you type in the word round. Okay, you open your round brackets. And you have a look at round over here, and it says, okay, expecting a number. Well, that is a number there, the average. Go right to the end, comma, and then you specify how many digits you want, and it was to one decimal place, whatever it happened to be. Okay, showing to 2 decimals because it's been formatted like that, but it's been rounded to 1 decimal place. So it's equal to round average. Let's look at that a little bit over here. Pan across there. And there we are, equals round average, blah 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 blah. Well, this is just so easy, it's ridiculous. Okay, let's see if we can get something slightly more challenging. Next one, right, we can delete that one. Use functions to show the total profit stroke loss by subtracting the total expenses from the total. Oh man, what are you popping up for? Use functions to show the total profit and the total loss. Okay, so we're going to get the total of the income and subtract the total expenses. So that's quite not too shabby to do. What we'll do is we'll say equals sum, and we'll take the total of the expenses. Let's start with the total income. Okay, right, that would just give us the sum, but we want to subtract from that the sum of the other column, which is the expenses. And okay, so subtracting the sum of the one column minus the sum of the other column, and oh crappy poo, we've got a negative. Okay, well that just means that they've spent more money than they got in, which is quite a common problem if you're a teacher. Okay, so it's just the one sum subtract the other. Oh, we're supposed to put it over here. Didn't see that. Okay, didn't see that we were supposed to put it here. Okay, that was naughty of me. Okay, right, let's just redo it there. Equals sum, and it is the sum of the income minus the sum of the expenses. Okay, hopefully we should get the same answer. Yep, still got the same answer. So that's cleared my conscience a little bit. Add a function in A15 which will display the word profit or loss depending on the value in the cell alongside of it. Okay, so in other words, if this is negative, then I want to see the word loss appearing over here. So this should read loss. Okay, when we're finished with this. If it had been positive, it should have been profit. So it's either one thing or the other. So it has to be an if function. So let's start with equals if. Now people's arms go completely manuga if they see a if statement. Oh, this pop-up is getting on my damn nerves. Right, equals, we want to test if this cell, B15, is less than 0, which in this case we know it is. In which case, okay, now our true value. So there is our test. If B15 is less than 0, comma, what do you want to see in that cell? Well, we'll put it in quotes because it's going to be text, and what I want to see is loss. Okay, comma, what I want to appear if that's not true. In other words, if it wasn't negative, in fact it was positive, then I would want to see the word profit. I'm a prophet. Okay, there's not a profit, so we should expect to see the word loss appearing. If it's less than 0, which we know it is, loss should appear, else the word profit should appear. And there we go. Just an important thing, if something screws up in a function while you're doing your test, don't just leave it out. So let's just say you do something silly and you forget to put a comma in or something like that. Okay, formula types error, and now you're panicking and you can't work it out, blah 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 blah. All you do is go to the beginning of the thing, just press in a space before the equals and press enter, so that the person who's marking it can at least see, hey, wait a bit, this guy actually tried. All he did in the end was he left out the comma, as opposed to leaving it blank, because there's a mark for the if statement, go away, and there's a mark for the condition, and there's a mark for the loss and the profit. So you might lose 1 out of 3 or 4 marks. Just remember that, that's important. Right, the last one, thank heavens, this is just too easy. Use conditional formatting to place the borders of cells with values greater than 400. Okay, so we're looking at column B. Okay, that's the first thing that they want. And we're not going to format the cells, we're going to use conditional formatting. Okay, and so they want the cells greater than if the cell's greater than 400, then they want the cell borders to be in red. Okay, so we go to format, and we want borders that are red. Okay, just be careful of that. Remember to click on outline. Remember, this is the preview of what it's going to look like, so it must look like how it's going to end up. Okay, but that's only if it's greater than 400. In all other cases, in other words, if it's less than or equal to 400, it's got to be in blue. So we need to add another condition in here and say, right, if this is less than or equal to, 400, then I also want to format the cells, but I want the cell borders to be in blue, and I click the outline and I say OK, and boom. Okay, so the ones bigger than 400 are in red. I've got a bit of a mess because I put those other cell borders in earlier on, but I think you get the picture. Okay, so that's conditional formatting, guys. That type of question, these type of questions you've had, these 8 questions come up in just about every exam. Make sure that you whack them.